I found out my wife was cheating on a Tuesday evening, but that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was discovering she'd spent 6 months planning to destroy me, take everything I'd worked for, and turn my own children against me with lies. She thought she had the perfect plan. She thought I'd never find out. My name is Marcus Bennett, and for 42 years, I thought I understood how the world worked. I was a software engineer, successful, methodical. I owned a beautiful home in the suburbs of Portland. I had 2 amazing kids, Emma, 13, and Tyler, 10. And I had Jennifer, my wife of 15 years. Jennifer was everything I wasn't. Where I was quiet and analytical, she was vibrant and social. She was a real estate agent, always impeccably dressed, always ready with a charming smile that could light up any room. When we met at a mutual friend's party 15 years ago, I couldn't believe someone like her would be interested in a shy, awkward programmer like me. But lately, I'd noticed things changing. It started small. Jennifer began working late more frequently. Her phone was always face down on the counter. Her laughter at dinner felt forced rather than genuine. When I tried to talk about our day, she'd give one-word answers, her eyes distant and distracted. I told myself I was being paranoid. We'd been married 15 years, had 2 kids. Wasn't it natural for things to cool down a bit? I threw myself into my work, trying to ignore the growing pit in my stomach that told me something was very, very wrong. The truth hit me like a freight train on a rainy Tuesday evening in October. I'd left work early with a migraine, something that rarely happened. I texted Jennifer to let her know, but she didn't respond, not unusual when she was with clients. I took some medication and lay down, eventually falling into a fitful sleep. When I woke around 7, the house was still empty. Emma and Tyler were at my mother's for fall break. The silence was oppressive, crushing. I went to the kitchen for water and saw it. Jennifer's iPad sitting on the counter, unlocked. She must have forgotten it in her rush that morning. We'd always had each other's passwords, a symbol of trust, we'd said. I'd never felt the need to look through her devices until that moment. My hand trembled as I picked up the tablet. I told myself I was just checking to see where she was, but as soon as I opened her messaging app, my world shattered into a million pieces. The messages were all there, hundreds of them, from someone named Brett with heart emojis next to his name. Can't wait to see you tonight, baby. This sneaking around won't last much longer. Once you're done with Marcus, we can finally be together for real. Have you talked to the lawyer yet? The cabin this weekend was incredible. I love you. I felt my legs give way. I slid down the kitchen cabinet to the floor, the iPad clutched in my shaking hands. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. I scrolled further back, watching my marriage die with every swipe. 6 months. This had been going on for 6 months. 6 months of lies, of work events that were actually hotel rooms, of girls' weekends that were romantic getaways. But it was the recent messages that truly destroyed me. As I continued reading, my heartbreak transformed into something colder, something sharper. This wasn't just an affair. This was a calculated demolition of my entire life. Jennifer and Brett weren't just sleeping together. They were planning my complete destruction. My lawyer says if we play this right, you'll get the house, majority custody, and a huge chunk of his income, Brett had written. That 401k and his stock options are going to set us up nice. I know, Jennifer had replied. I just need to be patient. Thanksgiving would be perfect. His whole family will be there. I'll create a scene, make him look terrible in front of everyone, then file the next week when he's emotionally destroyed. Maria says the optics matter. I read that exchange 3 times. I felt physically sick. My wife, the woman I'd loved for 15 years, the mother of my children, was planning to humiliate me in front of my elderly parents, my siblings, my kids, all to strengthen her legal position. But there was more. So much more. Jennifer had consulted with a divorce attorney. She was documenting everything, building a case that I was emotionally absent, possibly even verbally abusive. Complete fabrications. She had notes about ordinary disagreements we'd had, twisted to make me look like a monster. She'd been slowly transferring money from our joint savings account into a separate account I didn't know about. Thousands of dollars. Our money. The money we'd saved together for our kids' college, for our retirement, and she was stealing it right under my nose. She'd even manipulated our marriage counselor. We'd seen her twice, and Jennifer had convinced her that I was resistant to working on the relationship. I'd thought we were making progress. I'd been a fool. It was comprehensive, calculated, cruel. I sat on that kitchen floor for 2 hours, reading every message, every email, every document I could find. I cried. I raged silently. I felt everything breaking inside me. But then, something shifted. My analytical mind, the same mind that solved complex coding problems every day, began to work through this problem methodically. I could confront her. I could scream, cry, throw things, but that would play right into her hands. Any emotional outburst would become evidence of my instability. Any confrontation would tip her off that I knew, and she'd accelerate her timeline. No, if Jennifer wanted to play chess, I'd show her what happens when you underestimate your opponent. I stood up, wiped my eyes, and started doing what I do best. I documented everything. I used my phone to photograph every message, every email. I found cloud backups of deleted messages, including ones where Jennifer explicitly discussed hiding assets and exaggerating claims against me. I discovered receipts for hotels, for jewelry I'd never seen her wear, for romantic dinners at restaurants she'd told me she was showing houses near. Then I did what any good engineer does when facing a complex problem. I built a system. I created an encrypted backup of everything on a secure server. I documented the money transfers with timestamps and transaction records. I pulled our financial records going back years and organized them meticulously in spreadsheets. But I needed more. I needed to protect myself legally and ensure my children would know the truth. I couldn't do this alone. The next morning, I called in sick to work for the first time in 3 years. Jennifer had come home late the previous night, smelling of cologne that wasn't mine, and had barely said 2 words before claiming exhaustion and going to sleep in the guest room. I'd pretended to be asleep when she came in. I couldn't look at her without feeling sick. My first call was to Daniel Chen, a college roommate who'd become a prominent family law attorney in Seattle. We'd stayed in touch over the years, grabbing drinks whenever he was in Portland. "Marcus, good to hear from you, man. What's up?" My voice was steady. I'd had all night to process the emotion. Now I was in execution mode. "Daniel, I need a lawyer. My wife is planning to divorce me, claim I'm abusive, take our assets, and alienate my kids. And I have evidence of all of it." There was a long pause. "Are you serious?" "Completely. Can you refer me to the best family law attorney in Portland? Someone who won't be intimidated by aggressive tactics." Daniel didn't hesitate. "Catherine Wong. She's a shark, but she's ethical. She doesn't play dirty, but she doesn't back down from people who do. I'll call her personally and tell her to expect you." Next, I called a forensic accountant my company had used during an acquisition. I explained that I needed a complete analysis of my family's finances, particularly any irregularities in the past 6 months. Then I did something that felt uncomfortable but necessary. I set up small cameras in the kitchen and living room, nanny cams, technically, perfectly legal in my own home. If Jennifer was going to try to provoke me or fabricate incidents, I'd have video proof of what actually happened. I was building my case, brick by brick. Catherine Wong's office was in a sleek downtown building with a view of the river. She was a petite woman in her 50s with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor that immediately put me at ease. I spent 3 hours with her, walking through everything. She reviewed the screenshots, the financial records, the messages discussing legal strategy with my wife's affair partner. When she finally looked up, her expression was grim. "Mr. Bennett, Marcus, this is one of the most premeditated cases I've seen in 20 years of practice. The good news is that your wife has documented her own misconduct extensively. The bad news is that we need to be very, very careful about how we proceed." "What do you mean?" "If we tip our hand too early, she'll change tactics. We need to let her think everything is going according to her plan until we're ready to move. In the meantime, you need to protect your assets, document everything, and not give her any actual ammunition." I leaned forward. "She's planning to create a scene at Thanksgiving, in front of my parents, my whole family." Catherine nodded slowly. "Then we'll be ready. I'm going to file for legal separation the day before Thanksgiving with an emergency motion to prevent asset dissipation. We'll include everything: the affair, the financial misconduct, the coordination with her attorney to fabricate claims, all of it. We'll request that any allegations she makes after that date be viewed with extreme skepticism given her documented plan to fabricate incidents." Relief flooded through me. Someone believed me. Someone was going to help me fight. "What about my kids?" I asked, my voice cracking slightly. Catherine's expression softened. "The texts discussing using the children as leverage and making false abuse claims won't look good to any judge. But Marcus, you need to prepare yourself. This is going to get ugly before it gets better. Your wife is going to be blindsided, and people who are cornered often lash out." "I understand. One more thing." Her eyes locked onto mine. "Do not, under any circumstances, confront her or change your behavior. Go to work, come home, be civil but distant. Let her think she's pulling it off. Can you do that?" I thought about my children, about 15 years of marriage, about the home we'd built together, the life we'd shared. Then I thought about Jennifer laughing with Brett, about taking everything from me, about her planning to lie about me, to make my own children think I was a monster. "Yes," I said, "I can do that." The next 2 weeks were absolute torture. Every evening, I came home to a wife who barely looked at me, a wife who was constantly on her phone, smiling at messages I now knew weren't from clients, a wife who volunteered for every late showing, every weekend open house, every excuse to not be home. I made dinner for myself. I cleaned the house. I went through the motions of a life that no longer existed, and I said nothing. Meanwhile, my team worked behind the scenes. The forensic accountant discovered that Jennifer had moved nearly $60,000 into her secret account. Catherine filed preliminary paperwork under seal. I continued documenting every lie, every late night, every work emergency that I now knew was really Brett. When Emma and Tyler came back from my mother's house, full of stories about their week, I held them tighter than usual. I read extra bedtime stories. I helped with every homework assignment. I soaked up every moment, terrified that Jennifer's plan might somehow work, that I might lose them. Jennifer was barely present with them, always stepping out to take a call, always claiming she was too tired to play a game or watch a movie. "Is Mom okay?" Emma asked me one evening. At 13, she didn't miss much. "She's been working a lot," I said carefully, hating that I had to lie to my daughter. "Sometimes adults go through stressful periods." "You seem sad, Dad." I hugged her tight. "I'm just tired, sweetheart. But I love you and your brother more than anything in the world. Remember that, okay? No matter what happens, I will always love you both." "Okay," she said, though I could see the worry in her eyes. That night, I cried in the shower where no one could hear me. Wednesday before Thanksgiving, the day everything changed. I'd taken the day off work, supposedly to help prepare for the family gathering we were hosting. Jennifer was supposedly at a big commercial property closing that would take most of the day. In reality, I knew from her text messages that she was meeting Brett at their usual hotel. At exactly 10 a.m., A process server walked into Jennifer's real estate office and handed her an envelope. At the exact same moment, another server delivered papers to Brett Morrison at his workplace. Catherine had been thorough. Brett was married too, with 3 kids of his own. His wife deserved to know the truth. The papers included the petition for legal separation, the emergency motion regarding assets, and a comprehensive attachment of evidence. Every text message, every financial record, every piece of Jennifer's plan laid bare for a judge to see. I was in Catherine's office when my phone started ringing. Jennifer's name flashed on the screen. I let it go to voicemail. She called 17 times in the first hour. The voicemails were a journey, confused, panicked, angry, desperate. "Marcus, what is this? Call me back right now!" "I don't understand what's happening. Please, we need to talk." "How could you do this? You're humiliating me. You've ruined everything, everything." The final voicemail was pure rage. "You sneaking, pathetic bastard. You think you've won? You have no idea what I'm capable of. You're going to regret this." Catherine raised an eyebrow as we listened. "Well, that'll be Exhibit 27. At 3 p.m., we had our emergency hearing. I walked into that courtroom with Catherine by my side, wearing my best suit, looking calm and professional. Jennifer arrived, looking like her world had ended. Her expensive clothes were wrinkled. Her makeup was smeared. Her eyes were wild. Good, I thought. Let the judge see who the stable parent is. Judge Sandra Morrison, a stern woman in her 60s, reviewed our filings. I watched her expression grow increasingly severe as she read. "Ms. Bennett," she said finally, "did you or did you not conspire with your paramour to fabricate abuse allegations against your husband?" Jennifer's lawyer, Maria Sanchez, tried to intervene. "Your Honor, these messages are taken out of context." "I can read, Ms. Sanchez. I'm asking your client a direct question." I watched Jennifer struggle, trapped and desperate. We were just venting. Everyone says things they don't mean when they're unhappy." "Did you transfer nearly $60,000 from your joint marital account without your husband's knowledge?" "That's my money too." "Did you plan to create a false incident at a family gathering to strengthen your legal position?" Silence. Judge Morrison's voice was ice cold. "I am granting the emergency motion. All joint accounts are frozen, effective immediately. Ms. Bennett, you are to return the $60,000 within 72 hours or face contempt charges. I am also ordering a temporary custody arrangement with equal time pending a full hearing. And Ms. Sanchez, I suggest you seriously consider withdrawing from this case. Your communications with Ms. Bennett discussing fabrication of evidence raise serious ethical concerns." I felt something loosen in my chest, something that had been clenched tight for 2 weeks. I was going to be okay. My kids were going to be okay. I returned home that evening to find Jennifer's car haphazardly parked in the driveway. I'd changed the locks that morning on Catherine's advice and had a locksmith on standby. Jennifer was pounding on the door as I pulled up. "Marcus, let me in! This is my house!" I got out of my car slowly, calmly. Catherine had prepared me for this. She'd told me exactly what to say. "Jennifer," I said, my voice steady, "you've been served with legal separation papers. You're welcome to collect some clothes and personal items with supervision, but you need to find somewhere else to stay tonight. I've compiled the list of your belongings that you can pick up this weekend with proper notice." Her face twisted with rage. "You bastard! You self-righteous, sneaking bastard! You went through my private messages. You left your iPad unlocked," I said simply. "I saw something concerning and investigated. What I found was a plan to destroy my life and alienate me from my children based on lies. I could have explained 6 months of adultery, the $60,000 you stole, The plan to make false abuse claims in front of my family? She switched tactics instantly. Tears flowed. Her voice became soft, pleading. Marcus, please. I made mistakes. I was confused, lonely. We can fix this. Think about Emma and Tyler. For a moment, just a moment, I saw the woman I'd fallen in love with 15 years ago. The woman who'd smiled at me across that party, who'd made me feel like maybe I wasn't such an awkward programmer after all. Then I remembered her laughing with Brett about taking my retirement, about using our children as leverage. I am thinking about them, I said quietly. I'm thinking about what happens when they're old enough to understand that their mother planned to use them as weapons. I'm thinking about protecting them from watching their father be destroyed based on lies. I'm thinking about the example I want to set for them, about integrity and truth. Jennifer's face hardened. The mask dropped completely. You'll regret this. You have no idea what I'm capable of. I looked at her, really looked at her, and felt the last remnants of whatever I'd felt die completely. Actually, Jennifer, I know exactly what you're capable of. I have extensive documentation of what you're capable of. The difference is, now a judge knows too. I turned and walked into my house, closing the door on 15 years of my life. The next 8 months were brutal. Jennifer tried everything. She claimed I'd hacked her devices illegally. She alleged that I'd manipulated the messages somehow. She brought witnesses who claimed I'd been cold and distant during our marriage, conveniently leaving out that her own texts proved she'd been planning this for months. She tried to turn my own family against me, calling my mother in tears, claiming I'd blindsided her, that she'd only been talking to Brett because I was emotionally abusive. But Catherine was ready for all of it. Technical experts testified that the messages were authentic and unaltered. The video from the nanny cams showed Jennifer being the aggressive one in every interaction after the separation, including one incident where she threw a plate at my head while screaming obscenities, immediately after which she'd texted her friend claiming I had threatened her. Brett Morrison's wife, God bless her, filed for divorce too, and testified about finding her own set of messages. She looked at me during her testimony with such sadness and understanding that I almost broke down. The forensic accountant walked through every financial transaction, showing clear and undeniable intent to hide assets. But the most damaging evidence came from an unexpected source: Jennifer's own lawyer. Maria Sanchez, facing potential disbarment for ethics violations, turned over her complete file. It included notes where Jennifer had explicitly discussed making false claims and strategies for provoking me to react. The hardest part was watching my kids process everything. Emma and Tyler had sessions with a child psychologist. I'll never forget the day the psychologist called me in. Your children have expressed a strong desire to live primarily with you, she said gently. They both reported feeling that their mother has become distant and preoccupied, while you've been consistently present and supportive. Emma, in particular, showed signs of anxiety about her mother's behavior. I cried in that office, not from victory, but from heartbreak that my children had to go through this at all. 8 months after that terrible Tuesday evening, we stood in court for the final judgment. Judge Morrison had reviewed everything, every text message, every financial record, every piece of testimony. She'd seen through every lie, every manipulation, every desperate attempt Jennifer had made to salvage her plan. The judgment was thorough and frankly devastating to Jennifer. I received primary custody, with Jennifer having supervised visitation until she completed a court-mandated therapy program. The house stayed with me, the home where my children had grown up, where they felt safe. Jennifer was ordered to return the $60,000 plus interest and pay a portion of my legal fees. The retirement accounts were split, but Jennifer's misconduct meant the split favored me significantly. But most importantly for me, for my children's future, the judgment included detailed findings of fact about Jennifer's plan to fabricate abuse allegations. It was part of the permanent record. If she ever tried to make such claims in the future, this judgment would protect me. As we left the courthouse that day, Jennifer looked at me with such hatred that it actually frightened me for a moment. "I hope you're happy," she spat. "You've destroyed our family." I looked at her, really looked at her, one last time. "No, Jennifer, you did that. I just refused to let you destroy me in the process." 2 years have passed since that rainy Tuesday evening that changed my life. I'm standing in my kitchen right now, making breakfast for my kids. Emma is 15 now, thriving in high school, on the honor roll, part of the debate team. Tyler is 12 and just made the travel soccer team. Both are in therapy, processing their parents' divorce in healthy ways. The house still feels like home, maybe even more so now. There's no tension, no wondering where Jennifer really is, no walking on eggshells. Jennifer eventually moved to Seattle with Brett, though from what I hear, their relationship didn't survive the scandal and the reality of what they'd done. She sees the kids every other weekend now, and I've worked hard not to poison them against their mother. They'll form their own opinions as they get older. They're smart kids. I've been on a few dates, nothing serious yet. I'm in no rush. I've thrown myself into being the best father I can be, into rebuilding my life on a foundation of honesty and integrity. Last night, as I was tucking Tyler into bed, he looked up at me with those serious eyes he gets sometimes. "Dad, can I ask you something?" "Of course, bud. Why didn't you get really mad when everything happened with Mom? I remember you being sad, but you never yelled or threw things or anything." I thought carefully about my answer. These moments matter. "You know how I'm always telling you to think before you act?" He nodded. "Well, when someone tries to hurt you, the worst thing you can do is react without thinking. Your feelings are important. They're very important. But if you let them control you completely, you make bad decisions. I was hurt, more hurt than I'd ever been in my life. But I knew that if I reacted out of pure anger, it would only make things worse, for me, but especially for you and your sister. So you used your brain instead of your feelings?" "I used both. I felt everything, the hurt, the anger, the betrayal, all of it. I let myself feel it, but I let my brain decide what to do about it." Tyler was quiet for a moment, processing. "That's pretty smart, Dad." I smiled and ruffled his hair. "Thanks, buddy. Now get some sleep." As I walked downstairs, I thought about those horrible weeks 2 years ago. The pain had been real. The betrayal had cut deeper than I thought possible. There were nights I'd wondered if I'd ever feel normal again. But by refusing to be provoked, by documenting everything, by building my case carefully and thoroughly, I'd protected myself and my children. I'd shown them that when life tries to destroy you, you don't have to let it. You fight back, not with rage or revenge, but with truth and preparation and unwavering commitment to doing what's right. Jennifer had tried to write a story where I was the villain and she got everything. Instead, I rewrote the ending. In the living room, Emma was doing homework. She looked up as I came down and gave me a genuine smile, the kind I was terrified I'd never see again during those dark days. "Hey, Dad, can you help me with this calculus problem?" "Of course," I said, sitting beside my daughter. And in that simple moment, helping my child with homework in the home I'd fought to protect, with both my kids safe and happy and thriving under my roof, I knew I'd made the right choices. Sometimes winning isn't about destroying your opponent. Sometimes it's about refusing to be destroyed. Sometimes it's about standing firm in truth and integrity when everything around you is chaos and lies. Sometimes winning is waking up in the morning, making breakfast for your kids, and realizing that you built something better from the ashes of what was lost. I won, not because I hurt Jennifer back, not because I got revenge. I won because I protected what mattered most, my children, my dignity, and my future. And honestly, that's the only victory that ever really mattered. If you made it to the end of this story, we appreciate you. We have more in store for you, but why not subscribe so that you get notified when we drop another story? Give us a like to help push our stories up the chart. Thank you.